Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. And we're back with another Rastakhan's. Good job, you finally said it right. Rumble card review. There's been 4 more cards that have been released since I recorded yesterday's video, and it's taken me forever to edit it, so it's going up today. So this is probably the second video today. Sorry, also not sorry. You get more card reviews and more Hearthstone content. But yeah, this video should be a lot shorter, as you guys can probably tell by the timestamp down below, because there's only 4 cards to review. These are my PJ pants, yes, but I'm on vacation and I couldn't be bothered. I changed my shirt. These are comfy, alright? I'm gonna stay in them. Also, this is Ben. He's a stuffed dinosaur, and he's joining us because there's dinosaurs in Rastakhan's Rumble. That's my excuse. Also, he's adorable. But let's start with the cards. So the first card is a Hunter 2-drop spell in the rare slot called Revenge of the Wild. Summon your beasts that died this turn. Now, more beast synergies for the Beast Hunter list. And if you don't know already, I'm a big fan of Beast Hunter, and I really like playing it. I'm happy to have this card. So basically, if you think about it, you get a whole bunch of just really good stuff back. You can trade your Savannah Highmane, get the 2/2/2 hyenas, and then play this card at the end of the turn, and then you get the Savannah Highmane back to the board, which is fantastic. If you run Hunting Mastiff, which is the 2-drop dog boy with Echo and Rush, you can trade a whole bunch of your Rush boys into your opponent's minions, which gets rid of your opponent's minions more often than not, and then you play Revenge of the Wild at the end of the turn, and then you get all of them back with Echo again, or not Echo again, but with Rush again. So if you still need to rush something down, you can rush something down again, or you just have a board now that is very susceptible to a lot of different stuff because you only have 1 health, but you still have a board of stuff that your opponent has to deal with. So you will have to play 4 Mastiffs instead of 5, say on like turn 10, but you get 4 Mastiffs, and then you get 4 more Mastiffs, so you really are getting 8 Mastiffs. The more I say Mastiffs, it makes it sound weirder, and I'm probably messing it up now. You get 8 doggos instead of the 5 doggos, which seems pretty good. Everything that's a beast with the death rattle, you can trade it in, trigger the death rattle, and then get it back. This card is really good and has a lot of versatility in what it can do, because you can clear an opponent's board, you can create a board for yourself, you can destroy an opponent's board and then create a board again. You can trade much more freely with your beasts and then bring them all back at the end of the turn like nothing ever happened. This is fantastic. Like, this is really good and really cool. This set is so good, and not just because of this card, but just in general, this set is really good. And this card, I'm gonna say 4.5 stars. So like 4, and I can't like do like half. There, I'll make my thumb short. 4.5. So next we have Amini Warbear, which is a 7-drop, 5/7 neutral at the common slot, and it has Rush and Taunt, which seems honestly like a weird combination of stuff. I think this is just kind of a flavorful, neutral, high droppy minion, kind of like the one mech bulldozer looking dude, like the 9-drop 9/7 with Divine Shield. I think it's kind of like one of those sort of minions, so I'm not going to really dig too much into it, but it does have the beast, so everything that gets that whole beast sort of synergy going, this makes it a little bit more interesting. Undasta can bring this out. There's that as well. So you get double rush that turn. If you Undasta, overkill something, play down the Warbear, you get to rush something else. But I mean, usually when you play a taunt, it's in protection. You're trying to protect something else. You're trying to protect yourself. But then giving it rush makes it seem like it's like an aggressive taunt. I mean, more power to them. They can create whatever they want, obviously. But it just seems like an interesting combination to give a minion. But that being said, I don't know. It's also very, very high cost for 5/7 stats. Trying to make up with it for the fact that it has rush as well, so you can try and rush something down with the 5 attack, and then hopefully it survives with the 7 health to then protect you for another turn. If this gets played at all, I think it'll be, if there is any sort of like a long game beast decks, probably like Druid with Undasa or something like that. I think this is probably like a 1-star card, maybe a 1.5 because of the fact that it's really good to get off of Undasta. Just one of those neutral commons that kind of fill the high cost card. 1.5 stars. So next we have a weapon. I believe this is, no, that's not true. I was about to say that this is the first weapon in the set, but we saw the overkill weapon in the very beginning. So this is the second weapon that we have seen. It is a 2-drop Shaman weapon. You guys call it Lickkim, because it's Likkim, so Lickkim, go for it. It's a rare, and it's a 1/3 weapon. It has +2 attack while you have overloaded mana crystals. Again, pushing the whole overload Shaman with the spell stones, with the giant, just lots of overload in general. Overload Shaman is already kind of a thing because of the spell stones and just making it just a ton of those, like, I think they're 8/8 giants that cost less for every mana crystal that you overloaded this game. So those are pretty good combined with the spell stones. So you just make a huge board of 8/8s, which your opponent can't deal with. This just seems, you know, like a pretty good weapon. It becomes a 3/3 weapon if you're doing stuff that you're already going to do. Shaman doesn't really have a lot of good weapons, really, besides the overload weapon. I mean, it fills a niche that nobody asked to be filled, I think. It's still not, like, terrible. It's still usable in that sort of deck if you want to throw it in there. It's a 3/3 weapon when you're doing stuff that you want to do anyway. And it's also not that high of a cost. So it's a pretty cheap weapon for a pretty decent stat line. For that, I'm probably going to give this one 2 stars. Whew. So we next have the Paladin Troll Lord. He is a high priest, like the Warlock High Priestess. His name is High Priest Thekel. He is a 3-drop legendary minion with 3/4 in stats. In his battle cry, convert all but one of your hero's health into armor. What? I don't understand. This is another thing like Dragon Warrior that they just kind of threw at us. Here, convert all of your life into armor. Why? Why is that relevant? And it doesn't synergize with anything else in the set thus far. I just thought about it for a second and I completely changed my mind entirely. This card could be really, really risky, potentially, but also really, really, really good. This totally, like, you want to heal yourself because you have the 4-drop 4/4 that gains +4/+4 and taunt if you ever gained 10 health this game. Also, it seems like they're really trying to push a long game sort of paladin deck, like a control, hard, grindy paladin deck with the Loa and now this card, and just the kind of stuff that they've been putting out is very high costed spells and stuff like that. So if you convert all of your health to armor and then you restore a whole bunch of health, you now have a ton of health back and all of your armor. If you play this on curve, you will most likely have, you know, probably around 27-ish health, maybe, I'm assuming. Maybe if you're playing against some sort of really good aggro deck, you'll probably be around maybe 20-ish. You then get 19 armor, and hopefully, if you're smart, next turn you'll have the heals back to play 2 Holy Light, regain 12, you're back up to 13, plus the 19 armor you gained. Like, this can really push you into the long game, basically giving you a ton more health, which seems really good. Now that I took a second to think about the stuff that's in the game and how Paladin works, this seems really spicy at the least. Like, this could push a Paladin deck that wants to go long game into a Paladin deck that can go long game because it gives itself a ton of armor, meaning it gives itself more health to mess around with and to play with the weapon stuff, with just surviving big swings and stuff like that. So mixed with, hopefully, we'll see more healing in Paladin. And if we do see more healing in Paladin, more than there already is in the current standard meta stuff going around, then this could potentially be really game-breaking or really not good because we did stuff wrong. I'm kind of starting to think it's a little bit like Keleseth, to where if you get Keleseth late game, you've already drawn a lot of your minions out of your deck, therefore not a lot of them then get the +2/+2 buff, which is fine, but it's just less value. So if you get this later in the game and you have taken more damage, then you don't necessarily get as much armor. But still, it's an armor generating thing to make you go into the late game. And if Paladin gets even more heal than it already has, then you could heal yourself back up and still have that armor. So I think this card is getting 4 stars. I think it could potentially be really, really good with a heal long game Paladin deck. So I lied. There is 5 cards, not 4. So the last one is a 4-drop rogue spell. It is Walk the Plank, a common that reads destroy an undamaged minion. Pretty straightforward. I mean, your opponent plays something on their turn that's big. Your opponent drops their Lich King. Wabam. And then you pass the turn and you gotta walk the plank in your hand. Guess what? Your Lich King isn't damaged, and I'm just gonna kill it. That's really good. That seems, pretty decent. For 4 mana, I can get rid of anything that's not damaged on the board. So that's the most straightforward you can get. You play something, and then I play this to get rid of your big thing that you played. I mean, it's obviously not good against combo decks because the combo is going to all come out at once, and it's probably not going to be good against some sort of aggro decks. Aggro decks are more, about a ton of little minions, but targeted removal that can get rid of mid-range and big stuff is never bad, and Rogue now has even more of it. Like, you can run like a hard removal package in Rogue now if you want to run Fan of Knives to get rid of those pesky 1/1s and 1 health minions, and then you run some Vile Spines, and then you run 2 Walk the Plank, and then you got your 2 Assassinate. There's a lot of removal now in Rogue, which could potentially be kind of interesting to play with. Pretty basic, straight up common removal spell for Rogue, and it gets 3 stars because it can get rid of some big stuff. So that is all I have for right now. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and a comment down below. Subscribe and turn on that notification bell because we're going to be dropping a ton of Hearthstone content this week and in the next coming weeks, because they're going to be releasing more cards for me to react to and review. So there's that. Should be fun. You don't want to miss it. So subscribe, turn on the notification bell. Check out the links in the description if you would like to, and you can support me on Patreon, which would be incredibly helpful. But just watching the video is helpful enough, and leaving a comment telling me you enjoyed it will make my day regardless. But if you feel so inclined, Patreon is down there. Also, all the links to the social media, please go follow me on there. I post on there when I'm about to stream, and I stream a lot. Hearthstone, Pokemon, a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're interested in any of that, links down there. Check it out. Other than that, make sure you guys keep the audio spirit with you, because Michael from StevensvilleGamers is going to be signing off now. So 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah.